Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I am David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here today with Bruce McCurdy. Hey, Bruce. How you doing?
Hey, David, how you doing tonight?
Good. So you got a sore throat going here.
I sure do. Woke up with it this morning and powered through my day in the hockey game and stuff, but it's starting to go away as we get later into the evening. Having a lemon tea here to try and power through this podcast.
All right. Yeah, we're all gonna have to get used to getting colds again. I mean, as the world opens up, as it is slowly here, and we're all gonna get
Feels
colds
weird.
again. Which I haven't had a cold in since the month before COVID started, when I had a terrible cold, which might have been COVID, but
2 years for
I
me.
have had nothing since then. Bruce, a great game tonight from the Oilers in a lot of ways. And they won against a tough team. It's interesting. They beat the tough teams, St. Louis and Boston, and they've lost to Detroit and Buffalo. Teams that haven't done so well in recent years. But the Oilers won on the strength of some great offensive play and some great net minding. We'll get into both in our two good things, two bad things, and two numbers podcast, because it's an Oilers win. We'll go with two good things each. Do you want to start us off, Bruce?
Sure, I'll start with the great net minding, which was the foundation of Edmonton's success tonight. Mikko Koskinen, for all that he'd allowed 4 goals on 39 shots for an 897 save percentage. That's not, it won't even get recorded as a quality start by the newfangled stat. But believe you me, that was a high quality start from Mikko Koskinen and the difference between his team winning or losing that game. I thought he was outstanding just to keep him in the game in the first period when they were getting slaughtered by St. Louis pressure, especially on the power play where they got 3 power plays in a row. And just some marvelous saves. The 3 save sequence off of Brandon Saad on the power play, second power play, is as good as a sequence of net mining as I've seen all season. 3 great saves in a row, getting his pad down on the deflection, getting his toe out on the first rebound, and then laying full out and getting his paddle down on the second one, and then somehow controlling the puck that could have bounced off him and still gone in, and getting a hold of that rascal to get the whistle. That was just a breathtaking sequence. But far from the only great saves that he made on this night. I thought uh, he was left to his own devices a few times. Um, None bigger than with a minute to go in regulation when he stopped Ryan O'Reilly on a eyeball to eyeball from the edge of the crease, one timer. Huge save to keep the score at that time tied 4-4. And of course, the Oilers would come down on the subsequent rush and score the game winner themselves for the 5-4 victory in regulation.
Bruce, I'm trying to now and then I'm trying to track the 5 alarm shots, which are the grade A scoring chance shots, which probably would go in more than a third of the time, like a 33% chance of going in. And tonight I tracked 8 of them, 7 by the Blues and 1 by the Oilers. So and that's not I'm not tracking it faithfully though, so I might have missed some. But nonetheless, that's 7 by the Blues that I did track. Koskinen only landed one of those shots, the power play one-timer. He saved every single other one of those shots. And so the Oilers have been plagued, or not plagued, it's too strong a word. The Oilers goalies have been outplayed in recent games. And it's a reason the Oilers have not done as well in recent games. Koskinen's hit a bit of a trough. Skinner wasn't great in his start. Koskinen won this game tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. He really did. He was outstanding, and good for him. Just when they needed it, just when they needed him to give the team a bit of confidence with some good goaltending as opposed to mediocre goaltending, he came through. Bruce, I'll go. My good thing will be the NHL's early season MVP, Leon Draisaitl. He's crushing it, Bruce. He's never played better. He is crushing it at both ends of the ice. His defensive play is solid, especially when he's with Yamamoto, who's such a great glue player on defense and covers for him when needs be. But he's been doing well defensively, and on the attack, he's just such a beast. I mean, I'm just gonna go through scoring plays that he was involved in. Let me just find them here. 29 PPF. That's the first one. The first power play goal, the power play goal that Draisaitl scored. I mean, McDavid wheels into the slot area, and he passes it low to Draisaitl, who's way out at the bottom of the circle. Most people shooting from there, it's not a grade A chance, Bruce. Draisaitl shooting from there is a 5 alarm chance. He drains 33% of those shots, plus 33%, about 33% of the, and I call it the executioner shot.
Yep.
Just the way he wields that stick like a scythe, chopping it, hacking at that goalie, hacking at the puck. Great screen by Zach Hyman on the play as well. And he Draisaitl's amazing how he gets off that shot, and it's so lethal. It's so quick. And his eyes must be up because he's always picking the spot. He's always picking the right spot with it. It's not like he's head down plowing at the net. He's got to be looking because he hits the right spot so often. And maybe I'm wrong because I've heard a lot of great shooters say they don't look. They just I think it was Brett Hull who says he didn't look. He just had a feel for it. He would get to the spot and he'd shoot without looking. Maybe Draisaitl's the same. He's not looking, but man, does he ever hit the spot for Oilers fans, and in terms of hitting the net each time. All right, let's go to the.
Well, this was his 14th game of the season, and his 8th 3-point game, 3+ point game. 8 out of 14 games with 3 points. He's already got. He only got 1 goal tonight only. He's had 6 2-goal games. They said on the broadcast, no one else in the NHL has more than 2. Leon Draisaitl has 6. He's just in another league right now. He's just playing phenomenal.
The NHL hasn't had a player like this since Phil Esposito. It plays this style of hockey, plays this way. He's the closest thing. And Esposito led the league in scoring, right? Leon Draisaitl's averaging 2.21 points per game right now, ahead of McDavid at 1.93. It's astonishing. He's the runaway leader. He's got 31 points in 14 games. Next is McDavid with 27 in 14 games. So, wow.
27 or 28. Anyway, I'll draw a more recent comparable in Peter Forsberg, but that's a pretty high compliment.
Forsberg played in such a different style to me than I know the puck protection. You could say Yager. You could say in terms of that kind of puck protection, but I don't know. He doesn't really remind me of Forsberg. Forsberg was more of a fluid player, whereas Draisaitl's a kind of a tower of power. So Yamamoto, the next scoring play was Yamamoto keeping the puck in on the boards. Great jumping for the puck and gets it downloaded to Draisaitl, who does the old low high pass. The low high pass is an extremely deadly play in the NHL, and it's because when you have the puck down low, the goalie has got to stay on the goal line. You pass it quickly out, and there's a quick shot. He's on the goal line. He's not in a great position to make that save. So that low high scorched the Oilers a few times, and here it scorched the Blues because Draisaitl got it quickly to Nugent Hopkins, who got off the shot quickly, threw a screen, bam, in the net. And of course, the Dynamite Line capped it all off, Bruce, with Draisaitl setting up Yamamoto. And it was I think actually Draisaitl was coming on the wing and the puck was slashed off his stick. And he turns around to retrieve it and then spots Yamamoto, whips it over. And I'll leave the finish to you since I know what your next good thing is. But that was a hell of a pass by Draisaitl. Just the quick visual pickup of the player there, and just the quick pass.
The quick stop too.
The quick stop. It's such a treat to see this guy play right now. He's well, like I keep saying, he's the NHL's early season MVP, best player in the league right now, and I don't think it's that close. Go ahead. Your next good thing.
I'm going to pick both of Leon's wingers on the Dynamite Line. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Kailer Yamamoto. It was weird. All year they were going, neither guy's got a goal, and Leon's playing center, and he's this sublime playmaker. You'd expect his wingers to be filling the net, and they weren't. Well, they filled it tonight with a goal each. And I thought Nugent Hopkins, this was his best game of the season.
Oh yeah.
He was all over the puck. He was jumping. You could see Jack Michaels called it that he was going to get his first goal tonight, and he got it. He said it a couple times, and then he scored right after, and he earned it just on the basis of tonight's play alone with 8 shots on net and no misses. Like he didn't have any blocked or any that missed the target. He attempted 8 shots, and all of them were on goal. And the one that scored was just a quick release, right through a screen, right through the goalie. And I don't think Binnington ever saw it. And uh, but he knew. I mean, he made a great play on the penalty kill where he stole the puck in his own territory and he burst away. Hyman jumped up to join him, and he looked to Hyman, but he made to me the right play. I don't like passing on a 2-on-1 on the penalty kill unless you're sure, because if it goes astray, it can be a quick 4-on-2 the other way. And instead, he took it right to the doorstep and he tried to jam it from just about inside the blue paint. And he drew a penalty on that play. In fact, he drew 2 penalties in this game, Nugent Hopkins, and took one himself on a kind of an unlucky play where he wheeled and his stick got caught up between a guy's feet. That was one that I think that would have been a penalty on any NHLer except McDavid. If that had been McDavid got tripped like that, they probably wouldn't have called it, but anybody else. And they sure did call it there. Anyway, that's just me being bitter. Uh, and Yamamoto, early in the game, I had a bad feeling like Draisaitl set him up in the slot twice, in like the first 2 shifts. And one time, he shot late and he shot wide. And the second time, the whole play was one timer. If he shot right away, he had a good chance, and he double clutched. And by the time he did let it fly, the defenseman was in the lane and blocked the shot. And I'm thinking, you got to get at least one shot on net out of those 2 chances, Kyler. But he more than made up for that with a couple of big plays later in the game. One where he made the play along the boards, got it to Draisaitl on the Nuge goal. Got a well-deserved assist for that. And then, of course, on the game winner, where he made the breakout pass to Draisaitl in the first place and then skedaddled down the ice and into the slot. And when Draisaitl fed him the rolling pass through the slot out of the blue, there's the one-timer I've been crying for earlier. Just overpowered Binnington right from the center slot, high and up and in. 28 seconds to go. What a time to unleash a shot like that and win the game for the team. And that's got to be a huge confidence boost for this kid, I think, to score, not only score a goal, but to score such a big goal at such a big time. And, a legitimate sniper's goal, not one where, he got to bounce and close to the net, but he just let fly with a shot and beat a high-quality NHL goalie with the game on the line. Good on him. So both of them, I mean, that whole line, I thought they were terrific, and they were the one Oilers line that dominated the shot shares. They had the puck in St. Louis's end for the most part, and all 3 of them were major contributors to the win.
Yeah, Yamamoto only has 4 points in 14 games, eh? Like that's I don't think he's played poorly. He's been his usual outstanding self on defense. He's been a bit snake bitten on the attack. Like he's got to get better at shooting. Tonight he got better. So maybe this will help his confidence. I mean, he has been scoring more recently. And yeah, I like the player. I mean, he keeps playing like that, Bruce. The Oilers are going to have a hard choice here coming up. They got these 2 wingers to sign, Puljujärvi and Yamamoto. That's a worry for another day, though. A worry for another day. Oh yeah, my second good thing. That's where we are. I'm going to go Zach Hyman.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a great 2-way hockey player, and he just had another outstanding game. He makes possible the Dynamite Line being reunited like that because he gives McDavid just a fantastic winger. Same with Puljujärvi. I mean, McDavid's not in wanting for wingers anymore, right? When he's not with Leon Draisaitl, he's got Zach Hyman and Jesse Puljujärvi. A lot of NHL centers would kill for those 2 kind of wingers, You're going to make a lot of money playing with those two kind of wingers. They get the job done. And Hyman certainly did. Perhaps the key to the game was the Oilers scoring with 5 seconds left in the first period.
Yeah, that was
And
big.
Hyman he just whips down the wing hard, takes the puck hard, outside wide, and makes a great quick pass into the slot, which McDavid cashes in. So that was his best play of the night. And his second best play was, well, he had a lot of good plays, but another good play was his screen on Draisaitl's goal. I mean, I don't know if that puck goes in the net if he's not in front. Of course, it's his job and he's supposed to be there, but he did his job. He wasn't off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
He was right there in front, and he's it was a typical smart play. Like, he knows how to play hockey. That guy's a smart hockey player. The Edmonton Oilers are damn lucky to have him because he's good. So I'm glad he chose Edmonton. People have wondered about the McDavid dividend. When good players would come here on value contracts. Well, we don't know in the long run how Hyman's contract's going to run, but at the price he's getting paid this year, I mean, this is it. This is what we were hoping to see, a really good player choose Edmonton.
Yeah.
And Zach Hyman did it, and it's where the Oiler fans are the beneficiaries of it. So
Yeah, he had no shots tonight. The puck was bouncing on him a bit, but he made his presence felt in other ways. He won a lot of puck battles. He was in good position a lot. He made good passes. He pulled the RB up for one real good chance. He had, a few nice efforts on the playmaking side. And there was one play. This would be worth a good thing of its in its own right on a different night. The last shift of the game after the Oilers had the lead, and they had 28 seconds to kill. And I'm thinking the way the Blues have been setting up shop in Edmonton's end, this could be a long 28 seconds. Well, Leon won the draw, and then McDavid won one battle to get the puck deep in the territory, and Hyman won a battle, and Draisaitl won two battles, and they just kept turning aside the St. Louis breakout before they could even get above the hash marks in their own end. All three of them were just all over the puck. And by the time St. Louis got a hold of it, there was like 4 seconds left and the whole length of the ice to go and no chance. And that was just a brilliant way to end it. That all three of their star forwards really delivered the goods on that sequence.
no shots for Hyman, but we tracked him as having 4 major contributions to grade A chances, all passes. So that's a good game for a forward if you're in on 4, 4, and that was at even strength, plus the goalie screen. Bruce, what's your bad thing?
Well, I'm going to not single out, but maybe sextuple out Edmonton's defense. I wasn't too thrilled with their defensive play inside their own zone. I thought they were getting beaten to positions. Thought they were losing battles along the walls. They were getting beaten to the inside positions in the slot. And that was a big part of the reason that St. Louis was able to generate as many high-quality chances as they did, was that Edmonton's defensive group was unsuccessful in containing them and keeping them to the outside. And I just thought collectively as a group, they had a pretty rough night. And the top 2 pairings, I thought, were really in tough on the penalty kill, too. Like the St. Louis power play, I mean, they're really good. And they had the puck whipping around really well. But once they got it into the inside positions, they were, they were beating Edmonton's defense either with the passes or getting to the spots to get the shots away on net. And I just thought it was a kind of a soft game for them collectively as a group. And even the third pairing, I thought Chris Russell, he got burned on a cross ice pass on the 4-3 goal, I think it was. And, I mean, normally he makes that play. And tonight there were just plays that they didn't make. And I'll be commenting on the individual players in the game grades that'll be posted right away. But for the purposes of this short podcast, I'll just say the group as a whole had a tough time with the type of game that St. Louis presented. And actually, it does make me a little nervous of having to match up against certain types of teams. But we'll see how they respond to that and what Jim Playfair and Dave Tippett um, come up with to maybe improve that.
Yeah, I will say this was the first game that I thought Chris Russell looked like his old self. Like I thought he played. That was the one major mistake he made, and it was a big one. It led to a goal against. But I thought he otherwise was stronger this game than he had been this season. He hadn't looked like Chris Russell to me even this year.
Hmm.
He's been kind of slow and not particularly effective on defense. So that was a rough play, but I thought otherwise he was actually pretty good. He looked like Chris Russell, who's a really strong defensive player. And I wish he had been out there on the PK more than Keith. Keith struggled a bit on the PK
Yeah,
and
he did.
struggled at even strength defensively. I thought Cody Cece was stronger. I get the stronger of that pair again. Like Cody Cece was okay, but Bouchard and Nurse had their struggles. Keith had his struggles. So and Tyson Berry, he he tends to have struggles now and then too. Although he wasn't the main culprit tonight, it was Keith who had the most struggles of all on defense. Bruce, my bad thing relates to that defensive play, and it's a 4-4 game, and minute left, and St. Louis gets a 5 alarm chance right in the slot. Ryan O'Reilly, and it starts the sequence of pain starts off with Duncan Keith bobbling the puck behind the net, which usually isn't a problem with him. He's usually pretty good with the puck. Loses the puck, and then so Keith's former man Keith was on that was on Keith takes the puck, takes it behind the net, and of course Cece moves to him and is unable to contain the pass out into the slot. Goes right to O'Reilly, and Jesse Puljujärvi had been formally covering the slot, but just for some reason he decided to abandon that, and that meant Cece and Keith had no help down low in the slot. There was no one in the slot for the Oilers. Puljujärvi was the last man there, so I'm blaming him. Like if you have that position, just stay there. That's where they're going to score from. They're not going to almost always. So if you're there, that's your job. And he didn't do that. He vacated it, and that led to this incredible chance, which Koskinen again saved the team's bacon with a great save. So that's my
Well,
that's my bad thing.
all three forwards were kind of on the wrong side of the puck, but I tend to agree with you that Puljujärvi was maybe the guy who had been in the best position to do something about that, and there was whether it was a miscommunication or what have you, leaving the Conn Smythe Trophy winner alone in front with a minute left in the tie game in regulation is not usually a formula for success. They got away with it because Koskinen came up with the big stop, but you sure don't like to see that. And a goal against there is an absolute disaster.
Oh, it would have been very painful.
Sinks the whole road trip if they
Yeah.
lose and don't even get a point out of that game with a 2-goal lead in the third period. And so it was a nervous moments to say the least, but thankfully the big netminder stood tall.
What's your number, Bruce?
Yeah, I got to go with the number one. And I got four of them, and they all came in an 8-second span in the second period. Ryan Nugent Hopkins' first goal of the year, set up by Kyler Yamamoto's first assist of the year. And then 8 seconds later, and even bigger in important ways, Ryan McLeod with his first goal of his career. First NHL goal. Congratulations to you, Ryan McLeod. And a nice finish it was, too, jumping on a well, we'll call it a pass from Ryan Fogle. And whatever it was, the puck came from Fogle back into the slot, and McLeod just pounced on it and didn't think twice. He just, on the backhand side, no less, pounded a one-timer past Binnington and into the upper reaches of the net. And Kyle Turris on that same play, he got his first assist of the year. And he made a nice play on that sequence. In fact, the two goals were kind of similar. In each case, a guy made a good play just inside the blue line to keep the puck in. got it down low and it went low to high, and the goal scorer quickly whipped it home. So there were certainly things in common between the two goals, not identical, but similar. And what was similar about both was that each guy who scored had his first of the year, and the guy that got the second assist, that was his first apple of the year. So there was a lot of firsts dispensed with in an 8-second span. So it was kind of nice to see all those bubbles being burst in rapid succession like that, and especially Ryan McLeod. Good on you, Ryan. He's had a
Bruce,
good one.
if there's ever an opening for the chief numerologist of the Edmonton Oilers, I know the guy who will be first in line for that job. Uh, Fogel's pass was kind of like Magic Johnson there, fake him
Uh-huh.
out, look one way, pass the other.
Mm-hmm. Make
Uh,
it look like you're making a backhand shot. Really suck the goalie in. Make him play the backhand shot, but craftily lift your stick so that you don't actually touch the puck while it goes to your teammate who pounds it into the net.
yeah, we
Nice
haven't
play.
seen that kind of brilliance in passing since Andre Lacroix was
Very,
patrolling.
very deceptive player, Warren Fogle. Who
Yeah,
knew?
he is sneaky good. My number, Bruce, is I'm a big dynamite line aficionado, and so at even strength, they were on for the one goal against, and they were culprits some degree or another on that goal against, but they really played well tonight. It was the first time I think we've seen the dynamite line since 2019-20 actually, firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, they
It
were.
takes mid-season form, I guess, is we never really had that, and they're starting to get towards mid-season form now. They look like that tonight. They were really playing well, reading each other well, working together well. And if we can see more of that, Bruce, that'll be fantastic for the Edmonton Oilers. If this line can get going again and produce like it did with what we have on McDavid's line, this is going to be a special hockey team. It already is doing pretty well. Anyway, Draisaitl was in at even strength, 9 grade A, major contributions to 9 grade A chances, which is out of this world good.
Beautiful.
It's out of this world good. Yamamoto was in on 6, which is I'm easily his high for the season, I believe, and Nuge was in on 4. So the way they work together, read the game together, play together, it's a real hockey line, and I think deserving of a nickname in that regard because when they're going like that, I don't know if there's another line in the NHL quite like it. So I'm hoping to see more of that. And with that, I guess, Bruce, unless you have anything, any thoughts, final thoughts, or
Just going to add that Nuge also had that great score, a shorthanded chance
he
as
did.
well, right?
Good point. Alrighty, Bruce. Well, we'll let you go. You got to finish off the game grades, and you get a good
Yeah,
night's rest. That might cure the throat. So
yeah, it's weird. It's been 2 years. Um, anyway, we managed to power through the podcast. I hope people were able to hear me okay, and I apologize. There's obviously not much I can do about it. Uh, but at least we can laugh because the good guys came out with the win at the end of the night in a very, certainly you can say, entertaining and almost throbbing game. There was a lot of action. Man, scoring chances in that game was tough to track. They were coming thick and fast.
yeah, it took a long time to work through that game. Thanks for talking tonight, Bruce. Oh, we think your screen's frozen there. All right, we're gonna go out with a little Dynamite Line tribute song here, Bruce. Little Dynamite Line tribute song. I don't know how this is gonna come across, but
Right.
whenever the Dynamite Line scores, they should play this song at Rogers Place.
Sounds good. The way they played tonight, it's going to happen pretty often.
Yeah.
Goal each. Wonder how often they all three scored in the same game.
Alrighty. That's our experiment in all right. We'll leave it there. Thanks,
All right.
Bruce.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone.